Welcome back to Ensign Equipment. My name is Andrew Hartline. Today I've got a short applications video here to go over with you. This one's going to be for our plastics recycling folks. And this is going to be a container dumper that we just supplied. It's going to be going into an application where we're feeding a grinder. So this customer had some specific challenges with a scrap film, roll, loose film, plastic, all in this like wire cart that was very specific to them. And they needed a solution to be able to dump these carts full of the scrap they've collected throughout their facility and feed it into a grinder, but not overfeed it into a grinder either. So not only did they need some specialized retaining solution for this cart and to make sure that we didn't capture a bunch of material with one of our retaining solutions, but they also need to be able to control the dumping of the product into the grinder. So let's first take a look at the retaining mechanism. I'll highlight some other features of this dumper as we go along, and then we'll actually show you a dump cycle and what happens. So the first feature I really wanted to show you and talk to you about is our cart retaining mechanism here, right? So hopefully we can get in our video here a snapshot for you of these carts and what they look like, but they're a rectangular wire mesh type of a cart, and were filled and completely full with these scrap rolls of film as well as loose film and things of that nature. And so some of the challenges that we were faced with was, well, we want to load a cart, but we don't really want, like on our peg style retaining system, a finger or something to, grab onto any of that film and then kind of hold some of it back. We also know dumping large bulk loose material that our typical crossbar that you would see here causes challenges and problems with material coming out. A lot of times it can choke that material off and cause it bridging into the container. So this formed cart retaining mechanism has centering guides on the inner side, on the underneath side here. This is what's going to help steer that high-low driver left and right, make sure our container is centered and keep it centered so it's not going to slide all the way to the left and all the way to the right and get kittywampus in the dumper. It also has some guides to keep that high-low driver down where we need this cart to be. We don't need this cart to be just flying up and down as it goes through the cycle. And then it's got these lips right here, and how that is that's what's going to be right on top of the cart. The cart tops, and so that's what we'll come into contact with, and so this is what will retain the cart so that the rest of the product can dump into the grinder. So we've also got our safety cage with light screen assembly. We've reviewed this one with you before as well in our options videos, but it's got our standard light screen assembly here. You can see if I'm an operator, I'm going to load that dumper with one of the carts. I'm going to come out, I'm going to hit the safety reset button. I'm going to reactivate my safety screen so that I'm keeping any operators that are moving around the facility safe. And then I'm just going to hit the cycle start button. What we're going to see here is our controlled dumping solution, right? So we've got a panel mounted inside here in Vertec VFD. And when we hit a certain position switch, about 100 degrees or so on the container dumper cycle, we're going to see us go from our typical speed of 60 hertz down to 20 hertz. And what we're doing there is we're trying to control that dump into the grinder. And what we also have built into our controls is an interlock signal in here so that when that grinder's amperage switch gets activated, so it's starting to work really, really hard, and now all of a sudden it can't take any more material, that amperage switch will give us a signal, we'll pause. And that allows this dumper to automatically dump and not overfeed that grinder. So not only are we slow dumping, and that's what's controlling it, but we're also utilizing a pause sequence that's automated in with the grinder as well. So here, I'll hit cycle start, and we'll kind of see how this thing works. So you can see how we went full speed, 60 hertz, and then we actually slowed down that last 20 degrees or so at 20 hertz. Now this customer was also specific on their cycle. So most every automated cycle that we typically do, the dumper will always return home automatically. Right? It's part of the dump and go philosophy of being able to load a container dumper and then hit cycle start, go get another container while it's dumping, coming back down, and then you can automatically pull that box out once it's done and it comes down on its own. This customer was very specific on how they wanted their operators to interface, and they didn't want the bucket to come down on its own. So we actually were asked to customize our program so that upon hitting the start button again after we've completed a cycle, it would then come back down on its own. So we really enjoy some of those kind of requests. This is a pretty simple one, but our controls team really loves to be able to get in there and do some specialized stuff for customers that really kind of meets their process. So as you can see, we'll hit the cycle start button and we'll come back down to the home position. So anyways, I hope this video brought you some value. I hope that if it did, you like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.